Look, Ma, it's a butterfly. Fly. Hey guys, welcome to the Cool Factor, this is Mike, and as you have seen in the intro clip, do not do that with this set specifically, things can break. What we have here is the 75256 Kylo Ren's shuttle, which is basically a remake of the 2015 set Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle, which was a dark bluish grey version. Funny enough, they have the exact same piece count of 1005 pieces, and the old one was actually $10 less, so you can see how the prices of Star Wars sets go up a bit. It also had a few less features than this one. Well, we're gonna do a deep dive into every single bit of what this set has to offer. Before we do so, I want you guys to check out the links below. There are links to my Patreon and other videos if you wanna support me on this channel, and also you can always like, subscribe, and do all this stuff that usually people like me ask you to do on a YouTube video. Alright, let's jump into the review of the Kylo Ren's shuttle, the 2020 version. First off, well, the looks are solid. I like the black version of the ship more than the dark bluish grey version from 2015, and there are some accents of dark bluish grey still throughout the ship. As you can see, we have a selection of 6 minifigures. We're gonna get into those guys in a second, but just the impression of the ship, especially when it's in this, wings to the side position, gives a really nice feel to it. The set feels spacious, feels almost like a display model, not necessarily like a UCS one, if you will, but compared to other playsets from the Star Wars line, I think this one is solid looker. It dominates most of the ships on the shelf if you put them together, it dominates the X-Wings, it dominates most of the Rebellion ships, so Kylo Ren chose pretty wisely for having a really intimidating shuttle. Minifigures 6, most exciting one for sure is the Sith Trooper, a great addition to the First Order type of soldier. Was a really cool unveiling for this, Rise of the Skywalker movie. And we get also Kylo and 2 unnamed Knights of Ren, which is a bummer because they're not even named in the movie. Of course, you can find out their names if you go deeper into the lore. I really didn't, so please forgive me, but they are cool minifigures, just don't have names. Alright, let's take a closer look. That Sith Trooper is beyond awesome. The print is great for the helmet. It's a bit of an updated mold to get the new look, more of a sleek look with a lot of the accents in black and the dark grey, which, I mean, looks excellent. I've seen the Sith Trooper armor first time in last year's Comic-Con, and it did impress me, especially with the bright, vibrant red color. And he gets some sort of a weapon that seems to be having some sort of a targeting system, a scope, if you will. Here's the back of the minifigure, still pretty alright, and the head is your usual Stormtrooper, disgruntled Stormtrooper head, which, they could have updated it, but I guess we're not getting a new Stormtrooper head in a long time. The closer look at the Knights of Ren shows how awesome these guys are in this set. The guy on the right has a very cool print for the torso. It's really good looking, and well, the head is just black, so he's an unnamed guy basically in this set, but that helmet is awesome. Kind of reminds me of something that a Vader would wear. And the guy also holds some sort of a staff weapon and a thermal detonator. Here is the back of the print. You can see some suspenders, some tactical gear of sorts, but he's sort of a melee fighter, so I'm not sure what is that for. And the guy on the left is actually having a really cool, almost Marvel-like face with silver prints. Overall, the head color is the gunmetal silver with the dark finish, and the helmet is also quite unique mold, more like a cowl, but actually with some folding elements and whatnot. I've never actually seen that one before, so please correct me if you have seen that helmet before. And the guy also comes with a massive melee weapon that captures him pretty well, and the robes actually remind me maybe of Palpatine or something like that, but he's a Sith soldier basically, Sith fighter, so kind of, the dark robes work pretty well for him. And the last 3, well, this First Order Stormtrooper, whatever, seen this guy 100 times over, so whatever, you can go back into the row. This is General Pryde with a Y, and this is the usual First Order officer. Well, he does have a really cool face print with a sort of a scar right there, but I think the overall First Order uniform seems to go well in line with what we are used to in seeing in First Order officers. He does have a second face expression, and this one is kinda cool. He basically looks like Kylo Ren when he's angry. So the two are pretty much great together. And Kylo has his rebuilt mask, and I think the faces are maybe slightly updated, but nothing too crazy, so don't expect any revolution whatsoever. And he does come with his trusty cross lightsaber. On to the functions of the ship. Most of them are kind of the same as we have seen the 2015 set, but let's just see how much more this set has to offer. Basically, the build quality is quite similar. I do not have the previous version with me right now, but I did have spent some time before with the previous set, and I can say they are very, very comparable. The front has very similar functions to what we are used to from the previous set, so basically the front hatch does open up like that, and it reveals space for, unfortunately, only some minifigures. You can't fit the entire band of Misfits in that set, which is a bummer, because you don't really get the space in the back, which the space in the back was used as a storage in the previous set. Now it is used to hide the mechanism that makes the wings go pop, basically, which we're gonna get into in a second. One interesting thing that is actually not really mentioned in the manual, but I know the previous set had it, and this one actually does have it, but it's a bit more hidden. You don't really have any handle or sorts. The hatch at the bottom of the ship does open, so to do it, you kind of have to punch it through the cockpit, because there is not really a handle to grab this thing and detach those 4 studs from the bottom. So you put them in, and there is no real way to reach that. Once you open this up in this forceful way, you kind of see that you can access the ship that way, but because the wings are shorter in this set and they don't really have a landing gear like the previous one did, the whole cockpit is closer to the ground, so that hatch is really non-functional, which is funny. I don't remember I've seen LEGO hide a feature like that, because the PC is there, it just doesn't show as a feature in the manual, or there is no handle to open it from the bottom, so you have to really punch your finger and get it that way. So that's something I found pretty funny and interesting about this set. Now that we are actually at the bottom of the ship with the camera on the table, we can just show you the function of the... There you go, that's the engagement of the spring loader shooters. I already shot the previous one somewhere before the review, so sorry about that, but at least you can see how well they are hidden. And well, the mechanism is not too crazy, it's just basically a punch, slope that engages the spring shooter, but they're there and they're like moderately hidden. I've seen better ways to hide it. This one is okay. And now to the main function of the ship, which is, I think, the coolest part about it, and that's the thing I liked the most about the entire thing, is the wing function. Well, first of all, it's operated here. Right engine or left engine, depending on which way you look at it, is actually moving the whole wings. The mechanism inside, let me see if I can actually get this plaque off so maybe you can see what is here. Basically, there is like a whole set of transmission, kind of, that moves two cross beams in between wings so that they just do this funny function. The bad thing about this is that there is no way to lock it in place. So that means when the ship is landed and you want to lift it, it goes into the flight mode automatically, which is cool, but sometimes you want to maybe hold it, and you have to hold it with one hand here and engage the flight mode slightly above the ground, not like immediately. So you can do it, but the wings are so heavy, it's kind of hard to hold it together with just one hand. So that's something I noticed. I wish just there was some sort of a lock-in mechanism that would allow you to just engage, those wings whenever you please. There's also a little storage area here to hold your, thermal detonators of that one guy. And the Gribbling is actually pretty well made with some ice skating elements. There is even a city car bumper on the top. Looks okay. I like the combination of dark bluish gray and black in this one, so kudos for the Gribbling. And the last pretty much function of this set is the upper wing section operation, which is basically copied from the previous set. So you guys may have seen this before. As you can see, I'm unlocking those two little ball joints that are held by those snapper, I call them the snapper pieces. You can lock them that way. The wings are locked. Even if they're locked, you can see they're a bit wobbly. You unlock it and basically rotate a massive crossbeam in each of the wings that is responsible for that operation. What I do not like about this is that even in the fully locked position, it's wobbly. As you guys have seen in the intro, doing this in a fast motion basically breaks the wings. And the other thing is that when you put it down and put it back up, sometimes it just doesn't go in place, and the edge of that wedge, I rhyme when I can, actually touches the brick, and this happens. See, like this happens. So it's a bit wobbly, and even if you lock it that way, when you fly the ship, that wing tends to bend sometimes outward, so it doesn't look very good. Something I noticed, and well, some compromise for the cool functionality. You know, they kind of kept the same mechanism because the previous set did not have that movement at all. This set has, but since it kept the same mechanism for wing operation, the upper portion of the wing operation, then it introduced this flimsiness issue. So that's something I consider the biggest flaw of this set, because it just doesn't feel as sturdy. But you get an extra function, it just doesn't feel so sturdy again. Alright, I think that's gonna be it. If there's something I missed, always you can tell me in the comment section below. Just mess with me and tell me how terrible I am. Things like that. Overall, I do like this set. It does have some flaws and whatnot. But for the conclusion, let's return to your host, Mike. And the butterfly has landed. I was a bit more careful this time. Alright, and that's gonna wrap this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. How does this set compare to the 75104 from 2015? Let me know. 5 years difference, few changes, few more features, a bit more flimsiness. Certainly worth it. A bit too pricey maybe with the $10 higher price difference, but I still like it. I like the black color scheme, and the selection of minifigures is also pretty solid. Maybe less storage space, but we can live with that. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, the links are below for my Patreon, other videos. You can see other videos on the side of the screen if you want to check out more things that I have to offer on this channel. And well, see you in the next one. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye! Butterfly flies away very carefully.